All right, so what are some of the pros and cons of Waterfall, you may ask? So say the pros, the first pros I could identify, it is very predictable, okay? Predictable, which is also a good thing. I say in a bigger company, in a corporation, it's good to know what's coming. It's good to know what will happen in 3 months, in 6 months, even though the deadlines usually shift, but still it's good to know at least to some extent. That this is what, for example, junior product managers or project managers usually prefer. It's predictable. They know what will happen in 6 months. That gives them some confidence. Number two, it's easy to understand. It is easy to understand. There are these 6 steps that I just talked about. You guys already know them, so I could just say, hey, maybe you could start as a project manager the other day, and you already know what are the steps. You already understood them. You could become a project manager maybe the other day, right? So it's easy to understand. It is not a rocket science. It's much easier than, for example, Agile, where you have this very, agile environment, very flexible. Things change. You need to respond to change. Here, it's rigid. It's linear. You know what is coming. You know that before you jump on the next stage, you are supposed to finish the previous one. So it's easy. It's easy. Okay. These are some of the pros. Well, this also has some disadvantages, right? So what are the cons of Waterfall? Well, it's not easy to change. So say here it's easy to understand, and it is not easy to change. What do I mean by that? Well, it's not easy to respond to change. It's not easy to respond to customers' feedback. Because, again, if we look at the timeline, here you have an idea, then you start analyzing it, you start designing it, you start coding it, you start testing it, then you ship it to customers somewhere here. A customer looks at it and says, oh, I don't like it. So actually the smile is not there. There is a disappointment. Oh, this is not what I wanted. This is something else. So you need to get back and start maybe again the whole cycle. Well, this could take maybe 3 months, another 3 months, 6 months, 2 months. This, you don't want to start the whole cycle again. So it's not easy to change, to respond based on the feedback from customer. In some environments, it doesn't matter because, for example, in financial institutions where I've worked years ago, it was clear, hey, there's a new regulation, this is what we need to do. There is no space for customer feedback. This is, what we need to do in order to stay compliant. So we just need to do it. Hey, no discussion. Great, let's use Waterfall. Cool. It's just good to be aware that there are some disadvantages. For example, startups need to adjust based on customers' feedback. All right, number 2, it's usually slow and costly. These two are related, linked together. So it's slow and costly. Waterfall is great in a corporate environment where everyone has an opinion, everyone wants to comment on how things should be done, everyone gives feedback. So things just the project timeline just needs to address the fact that people like to give feedback, they like to add buffers. So even if this could be done in 2 months instead of 3 months, hey, someone adds a buffer, and then someone else adds a buffer here, and someone else adds a buffer here. And the more people are involved, the more holidays they go to, so it all adds up. So it's slow and costly. I would also highlight, well, the structure is linear and rigid. So is the pro, is it the cons? Well, it could be both. So let's just say it's a fact. What I would definitely highlight here is lack of feedback. Because here there is no space for interaction with a customer. There is no space to ask, hey, what do you think? How do you think about it? Actually, the feedback from customers is not encouraged at all. It's not even welcomed. Maybe it is in the first phase, but then as soon as you design it, then you know, just think about the rigid structure, right? You design something, and you know it will take 6 months to code, and then 3 months to test, and then 1 month to deploy. You don't want to figure out somewhere in the middle that something needs to change. You don't like it. You know, you want to postpone the request for change for later. Okay, so even if you realize, hey, maybe we should tweak it, maybe it's not efficient, maybe customers would like it different. You don't want that as a project manager, so you postpone it for later. And this is a huge disadvantage of Waterfall, the lack of feedback. In modern systems, you want to encourage feedback from customers. You want them to comment. You want them to be involved in the creation of the product. You want them to give you feedback so that you can build a great product or service. This is not possible with Waterfall, hence startups don't use Waterfall. Startups don't have time to waste. They cannot wait a year to show a product to customer. They need to prototype, and this is what we will talk about in the next video. Having said that, Waterfall is still great for certain companies, for certain environments. I mentioned corporations, or I mentioned, for example, heavily regulated environments, projects involving legal compliance or financial institutions. Like there is still space for Waterfall.